After a crash and a death or injury, many victims find themselves having to navigate uncharted territories at a time when they can barely function from the pain. Our volunteers can help victims in contacting community groups and agencies that they can get help from. We know the ropes and can direct them to financial, legal, or counseling services, to name a few. Every spring, MADD Canada hosts an annual National Victims Weekend and Candlelight Vigil of Hope and Remembrance. This is a chance for victims from across the country to come together to honor and remember their loved ones, to have their injuries acknowledged, and to talk to others who are coping with the same horror. The weekend includes presentations and workshops with experts on grief and bereavement, coping with injury, the criminal justice system, and other relevant topics. More importantly, it gives victims an opportunity to take the time for reflection in a safe and supportive environment. The highlight of the weekend is the Candlelight Vigil on Saturday evening. It's a haunting and moving service where victim photos are displayed, tributes read, and memorial candles lit. Although many new victims who attend this weekend are apprehensive and not sure what to expect when they arrive, when they're ready to leave, they are already hoping to be able to attend the following year.
The first conference we attended was a Victims Weekend. We decided to go because we had fairly recently just lost our daughter. Our grief was still very fresh. Didn't know what we were going to get into or what we would see there, but found such a warm and welcoming group of people, and were so supported and in many ways educated, but we found just a wonderful group of people that we could be ourselves with and we could cry with and share our story and hear their stories as well. And it just reinforced again the very wise decision to join this organization. It was just a wonderful experience. And we've continued to go and have not been disappointed in any of them.
The criminal justice system can be a daunting place and often the last thing victims want to think about when they're in the throes of deep grieving. However, it's often a necessary part of the process, especially when dealing with an impaired driving incident where charges have been laid. We let them know what to expect in court, what their rights are, and help them to prepare for what's ahead. Whenever possible, we accompany them to the proceedings. We can also help later dealing with Correctional Services Canada or the National Parole Board.
I was greeted by one of the MADD Canada representatives, and she stayed with me throughout that whole court process, helped me understand what was happening, why it was happening. Even though you don't understand some of the processes, they were able to outline what was going on, and we were all there, my family, my friends, of my son, with their victim impact statements. I don't think we would have even known about a victim impact statement had MADD not guided us.
MADD Canada believes it is every victim's right to be heard. In the criminal justice system, the victim has the right to submit and read a victim impact statement in court after the verdict and before the sentencing. We often help them prepare their statements so they can express to the courts and the offender the depth of their loss. There is some small comfort in being able to express their emotions and be sure the victim is never forgotten in the courtroom.
I've been in courtrooms where the victims have been told that they can't read it, or they've been tried to be persuaded by people in the courts that they don't need to read it because the judge has read it. And I usually, in those circumstances, I take them people aside and I said, look, this is your only opportunity that you've got to tell that court how you've really been affected, how you feel. And yes, the judge may read it. And I said, but you know, the offender probably will never read that. And it's your chance to just really let that person know how your life and your family's lives have been affected and how they'll never be the same.
One of a victim's greatest fears is that their loved one will be forgotten. Victims often can't even think past their grief to plan a tribute, but the yearning to memorialize their lost loved one is huge. This is where we can help. We invite all victims to post an online memorial tribute on our website. They can share a favorite photo and post a poem or message to keep thoughts of their loved one alive. Injured victims also submit tributes to remind the public not to drive impaired. For more information on how to do this, contact the national office. At our national office, we have an impactful national memorial wall, a chronological posting of photographs of victims with their names and dates. Dating back to 1946, hundreds of photos are on display. It's prominently displayed throughout the national office. Sadly, it continues to grow each year as new photos are added, documenting the recent loss of life and injuries sustained. This wall of victim photos is so powerful, we created a traveling version so chapters and community leaders can display it at events in their communities. It's a banner which includes over 600 victim photos. It puts faces to statistics and drives the message home that this crime doesn't discriminate according to age, sex, or ethnicity. When an impaired driving crash takes a life or causes life-altering injuries, it affects the entire community. At the local level, our chapters and community leaders hold local memorial events so the community can come together and share the grief. This too helps with the healing process. These local memorials might be dove or butterfly releases, candlelight vigils, memorial ride or sobriety checkpoint programs, a special walk, or a tree or bench dedication. When tragedy strikes, police, doctors, or other professionals have to notify the family and deliver the devastating news. For most, it is the most difficult part of their job. MADD Canada developed death notification training to help give these people the tools they need to do it in the most compassionate and sensitive way. The manner in which the family receives the news matters a great deal and affects their ability to heal. This training can be done in face-to-face workshops or online and is very valuable for anyone dealing with the aftermath of a crash. Check out our website for more information. At MADD Canada, we believe it's extremely important that sentencing reflects the seriousness of the crime. Unfortunately, many sentences are handed out that fall far short of this goal. Court monitor volunteers provide a visible MADD presence in the courtroom when impaired driving cases are heard. It's been found that impaired driving is often taken more seriously when members of our organization are present and the court recognizes that it will be held accountable for its decisions. If sentences do not reflect the crime, we can draw attention to this fact and urge the public to get involved by demanding accountability. Finally, we support victims and their families by providing a number of bursaries to students whose parent or guardian was killed in an impaired driving crash. It's a small gesture of financial support that might make the difference in their ability to move forward and get a good education. Applications are available on our website. Being fully present, fully supportive, and knowing what to say, what to do, and how to help. This is what MADD Canada offers through victim services and support. Victims are our #1 priority. We are here to help, always just a phone call away.
Just talking with the people and feeling their pain and them listening to me and feeling my pain was encouraging. You know, when you feel like you're not standing alone, that it gives you a little more strength, a little more hope.